Testing. 1, 2, 3. Live. Oh. Shit. Okay, my bad. Okay. So for anyone who's dropping by the stream now, welcome. You are currently watching the X-Packs Kejohanan Isukan Campus Taylor's MLBB Showdown, presented by X-Packs Cellcom and organized by Taylor's Esports Club in collaboration with My Game On. Now, we have just gone through a very riveting day of games. We finished the group stages. We started the day with 14 different teams from campuses all over the country. And we are now left to the final 4. We have just recently concluded the quarterfinals, cutting down what was 8 teams to our top 4, which will now be duking it out in the semi-finals to see who will be getting the chance to play in the grand finals themselves. So, before the games begin, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Adrian, otherwise known as Staffa. So if you want, you can find me on Facebook and stuff like that. And I shall be your caster for today. I'm expecting some very intense Mobile Legends action. So all 4 of these remaining teams have demonstrated their ability very well, and they've shown that they're very strong teams. They can communicate well. They know how to position themselves, how to draft, and for that reason, they have managed to get themselves a place in the top 4. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly feeling very excited, and I am certainly looking forward to what is going to come up next. The semifinals will be going on concurrently. We're obviously having 4 teams, 2 matches, best of 3. They will be happening at the same time, so obviously we can't really quite stream them both at the same time. But we will be streaming one, and I am very excited to be able to cast for it. For those of you who have just dropped by, thank you for joining us on the stream. The game will be starting very soon, and I hope you stick around because I expect it to be a very, very riveting game coming up. I believe, if I'm not wrong, yes, the next game that's going to be coming up will be a match between Team PSIKO.PRIME from UiTM Shah Alam versus Team PYRO from Politeknik Shah Alam. So it looks like we have 2 Shah Alam teams going head to head in the semifinals. Both of these teams have shown incredible performances throughout the group stage. Both of them actually coming out of their respective groups in the top spot, winning all 3 of their round robin matches. And considering they're here, they also managed to win against their opponents in the quarterfinals to make it here to the semis. So basically, both of these teams have had unstoppable win records. They basically have not lost a single game so far today. But in order to proceed, one of these teams is going to have to fall to the other, and we are going to have to see which team exactly is going to end up winning and continuing their win streak, and who will be going down to the 3rd place match. So the teams are now setting up. I'm hearing word that the teams are getting ready. They're setting up, and I expect the games will be happening very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled. In the meantime, I guess I shall be here entertaining you all with some fantasy. Let me have a look, see here. So, in the comments, real quick, I hope there's a comment. Basically, I want all of you to think about which of these 2 teams are going to win. Show your support, type it out, post it on Facebook, whatever social media you want. Tell us what you think will be the winning team of this semifinals match, and will be going on to the grand finals match itself to compete for a chance of 1,000 ringgit as well as 2.4k in-game diamonds per person. Yes, per person. That is not a shared amount. Each player of the winning team is going to be getting 2.4k diamonds in-game, which is going to get them a lot of stuff, to be honest. If I could get a cut of that, I'd like it myself. But sadly, I'm here casting. I'm not good enough to be playing, so we'll just have to settle for that. Either way, I do hope that all of you will enjoy the matches that are coming up. I know I am certainly going to be expecting a lot from it, and I think it'll be quite an exciting set of games. Yes, besides the actual champions of the tournament itself, this competition is going to do something a little bit special for all of our players today. There's actually going to be an MVP selected at the end of today's matches. For those of you who are not aware, MVP obviously means most valuable player, though I'm pretty sure most of the people watching would have known that. Either way, we're going to have everyone here, we're gonna think about it, the organizers are gonna think about it, I'm going to provide some input, and at the end of the day we are going to be selecting one MVP. And this MVP will be getting some very interesting prizes. First of all, they're going to be getting a very special medal, courtesy of the Taylor's Esports Club. I've actually seen the medal myself. It is very, very cool. It's like an actual legitimate medal. It's very shiny. But I think that what the MVP will be looking forward to even more than this this medal will be a ROG phone. Yes, that's right. The MVP is going to be getting their very own new ROG phone, which I expect is going to make a lot of people happy. They're definitely looking forward to getting this prize. But as we all know, Mobile Legends is not a solo game. They're going to need to collaborate together. They need to work with their teams. They need to make sure that they get that top spot. Because more than getting the MVP position, I'm sure that many of these teams want to be the champions. They want to prove that they have overcame all the rest, and that at the end of the day, they're going to be emerging as the top Mobile Legends team here today out of the 14 teams that we started the day with. Either way, it looks like we are going to be going in-game very, very soon. I'm seeing that the teams are getting into their squads, they're setting up. So for those of you who are on stream with us today, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your patience. I expect that the games will be starting very, very soon. Personally, I'm very excited. I hope that all of you are excited as well. And I wonder what kind of picks we'll be seeing today. As we all know, we just apologies, looks like we have a little bit of stuff going on here. Okay. My bad. A few things here and there. Not very used to setting this stuff up myself. Apologies to the teams involved. I think the games are going to be starting very soon. So keep your eyes peeled. I wonder if we'll be seeing some of the new hero that the game just released today. Those of you who play Mobile Legends actively in the chat, I'm sure you're aware that Mobile Legends just released a new hero called Deroff. I haven't played too much against him. I haven't really seen too much of what he can do, but from what I have seen, he's going to be a very strong pick, and I'm wondering if the teams are going to be picking him up. So right now we're simply awaiting news on the team starting up the game. I expect it won't be much longer now. There were a few technical issues here and there, but I think they're resolving them real quick. So please do be patient. Stay in the stream. I expect that we will be seeing some very interesting gameplay very soon. And I have word that the game has begun. It looks like we are now heading into the draft phase. So for those of you who have just joined us on the stream now, this is the first semi-finals match of a best of 3 series between PSIKO.PRIME and Team PYRO. Both very notable names. As I mentioned earlier, both of these teams have had an uncontested win streak so far in today's tournament, but with both of them going head to head now, which of these teams will be able to maintain that win streak, and which of them will falter at the hands of the other? So we have first bans coming out now. From blue side, we have a Lunox ban and a Harif ban on the other.
Your team is
followed by a Kaja. All of these teams are very strong. All of these all of these heroes are very strong. Lunox obviously lots of magic damage, and Harif same thing. Both of these characters see a lot of play. They're very strong right now, and I am not very surprised to see them going to be banned out. Let's see what's gonna happen next.
Your team is picking. Show. Your team is picking.
Second bans will be Kaja and Grok, and first pick is going to be Cho. Some very interesting picks here. There's a Grok and Kaja.
Quad. Gushan. Your team is picking.
A little bit of difficulty there. So I just got clarification, since it looks like these teams don't really have their team names shown here. For a bit of clarification for those watching, blue side will be Team PSIKO.PRIME from UiTM Shah Alam,
Minotaur.
whereas red side is going to be Team PYRO from PSA. Oh, and I'm already seeing what is going to be a very, very difficult lineup to match up against. We have Cho, Esmeralda, and Minotaur on the same team. PSIKO.PRIME already showing that they have a very, very strong lineup here. I don't really know what is the response. There's so much team fight, so much CC. There's a lot of damage on the side of Team PYRO though. Gushan, Claude,
your team
and
is
Diggy. Diggy's going to be able to be a very annoying force in the early game. And once they get farmed, Gushan and Claude are going to definitely have a lot of damage on their side, but with the kind of lineup we're seeing from PSIKO.PRIME, I kind of wonder if they will be able to get those heroes online. Bans have continued banning out the Akai from the side of PSIKO.PRIME and the Carry from the side of Team PYRO. Well, Carry seems like a pretty obvious ban choice here. We can see that Team PSIKO.PRIME has not yet selected their marksman, and Carry is the go-to marksman for a lot of teams after the Claude, so we can see why they would want to ban it out to try and reduce the effectiveness of Team PSIKO.PRIME.
Is picking.
And then now we see a Gatot pickup. we do see that a lot of the biggest meta tank characters have been banned out. Esmeralda and Minotaur picked on PSIKO.PRIME, Akai banned out, Grok banned out. Looks like Gatot is basically going to be their next best bet. But here we see hovering over Terizla. Is he gonna go for it? Looks like it will be a Leomord and a Granger to complete the team comp from the side of PSIKO.PRIME. I like this team comp. I think it's very strong. I'm expecting a lot from this, but Team PYRO definitely not to be counted out. Looks like they might pick up the Terizla after Team PSIKO.PRIME decides not to take it themselves. Well, this looks like it will. So, both teams have completed their drafts. They're now properly selecting their characters. This is going to be a difficult game for both sides, I think. Both are pretty strong comps, but I'm going to put out a prediction here that based on picks alone, PSIKO.PRIME seems to be the stronger team. We certainly can't count out Team PYRO though. Their performance so far today has been very, very strong. So with that, Game 1 of the best of 3 series semi-finals between Team PSIKO.PRIME and Team PYRO will commence. For those of you who have just joined us on stream, you're just in time because the game has, as you can see on the screen, the game is loading in. We're going to be starting very soon, and the players are entering the game now.
5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
I'm personally very excited for this matchup. Looks like we're going to have Minotaur with Ranger, Cho with Esmeralda, and Leomord on his own. On the other side, we're going to be having Gatot and Gushin, and it looks like there's gonna be a slight skirmish here already. Diggy and Terizla is a very strong early game combo. Like, obviously they just cleared out the entire lane quickly. A bit of skirmish here. Gatot gonna go in, gonna taunt the Cho out, do some damage. Looks like both teams will get out, taking the buff now. Whereas Team PYRO is gonna take the buff of PSIKO.PRIME, but it looks like we have a rotation down here. Are they intending to dive for the bottom 2 members of PSIKO.PRIME? Looks like they're going to be clearing the wave again, disrupting the Granger's farm quite severely. They get reverse time into the auto alarm bomb, doing lots of damage. Gushin going to be taking the crab on the bottom side. Meanwhile, a bit of action. Looks like the top crab will go to Team PSIKO.PRIME. A bit of action now here, doing some damage to each other. Game is still early. Looks like the way that Team PYRO is playing, they're trying to put a lot of pressure. Looks like we have some action here. Gatot getting a lot of damage done to him. The last Jeet Kune Do lands, managed to stun, but the shielding will be enough to keep him alive. Good play from the side of Team PSIKO.PRIME, but Gatot is not really the easiest target to take out. Meanwhile, Gushin is going to be continuing his farm, enabled with the help of the bottom lane of Terizla and Diggy. Whereas Team PSIKO.PRIME, they're trying to take the buff. Gatot's gonna be here, and the Retribution will take it. Minotaur jumps onto the Terizla, but he is level 4. He has his ult. The penalty zone is up if he decides to use it. Executes the penalty zone, catches 2 people. They will be able to walk out. Reverse time, catches the Minotaur, pulls him back into the team, and they want more. They want blood. Looks like Gushin will be getting out of their time journey used on the Diggy. Terizla will finish that off. 2 other members of PSIKO.PRIME are here. Esmeralda chasing down the Diggy will be able to take him out with the Stardust Dance, but she herself is in trouble. Now Cho is coming in, lands the Jeet Kune Do on 2 people, and looks like Leomord's joining the party as well. The ult coming in, he's on the horse. He doesn't quite manage to catch Gushin. Gushin will be able to get out of here, but will the other 2, these are very tanky people. Oh my goodness. Falling Star Moon will actually miss there. Minotaur does not have his ult, and both teams will decide to disengage. Short skirmish from both sides. I think both teams came out fairly even there, with Team PYRO taking 2 kills now. Net worth so far looking fairly even for both sides. It's still anyone's game. I did mention before the game that I expected Team PSIKO.PRIME's comp to do quite well here, but Team PYRO being very oppressive with the early laning combo of Terizla and Diggy, basically phasing out the Granger from being able to farm at all. We have a bit of action here. Looks like Team PYRO is trying to go for an objective. Will Team PSIKO.PRIME respond to this? I think they are aware. Minotaur Granger tries to use the ult to get it, but does not manage. Minotaur is in trouble now. The Minion Fury lands quite nicely, but the time journey does not allow him to pull that off. That was a missed penalty zone from Team PYRO there. Rhapsody, not quite enough. Falling Star Moon misses again. Esmeralda's not quite landing her stuff. Jikundo kicks the Gushan into the team, manages to take him out. 1 kill for Granger there, will be able to help him with his farm. And looks like it's not quite done yet. Taunt onto the Cho, he's gonna be able to get out with the Shunpo and the Jikundo. Both teams, are they going to continue this fight? Looks like they will choose to disengage. Small skirmishes coming out here and there, but no really defining team fights have happened yet so far. Both teams fairly even. Ult from the Granger doing some damage to Terizla, but Terizla, we all know if he's tanky as well. But time journey, Diggy's gonna be able to get out, not going to be stunned by Falling Star Moon there, and he will recall out of there. Both teams, quite a lot of people in the mid lane. Will we be seeing a fight here? They see the Claude. Do they want to go on him? Esmeralda just used the Falling Star Moon earlier, so I don't think she quite has it up yet for another fight. So as usual, trying to see if he can grab a pick off. And Bloodlust X and Calamity Reaper onto the Esmeralda. Going for a slightly more damage based build, looks like. Slight rotation here. Leomord, I think he sensed something was up, going to be retreating, but Cho now getting taunted, reverse time, but he will actually be able to get out of that, and oh boy, Team PYRO just basically jumped completely onto the Cho there. What will Leomord be able to do? He'll be able to take a kill onto the Diggy. Falling Star Moon's gonna close the gap. Leomord's alive! What is going on? They're taking this fight. Esmeralda's here now doing the damage. Leomord, I think the Gatot wants to try and take him out. Oh my goodness. Very, very well played on the side of Team PSIKO.PRIME. Looks like Cornflakes on the Leomord going to be able to survive against 4 members of the enemy team. 3 or 4 members. I actually can't believe that he got out of that. It's quite impressive. You can see definitely Leomord he's not the most meta character these days, but you certainly can't count out his ability to cause chaos in a team fight. PSIKO.PRIME trying to go for the objective there. Cho going to be trying to distract him. Reverse time, he's gonna be able to Shunpo out of it. Gatot going in, he won't be in trouble considering he is the tank. 5 members of Team PSIKO.PRIME on the mid lane.
Request backup.
Granger going down. He knows that the Blazing Duet has been used. The ult comes out. Doesn't quite manage to land it. Claude will be able to get away. Cho here, keeping an eye out, but he could be in a bit of trouble. He doesn't have the Shunpo for the reverse time there, taking a lot of damage. Leomord's here though. Falling Star Moon actually to disengage, and the penalty zone into the avatar of the Guardian, landing lots of damage. Time journey, making sure that his team is not going to get CC. Gushan's gonna disengage from this fight. He's feeling too low right now. Leomord making a good escape once again. Looks like Team PYRO is having a lot of difficulty taking this Leomord out, surviving multiple skirmishes by just the skin of his teeth. Oh no, Claude jumps in with the blazing duet, doing lots of damage. Won't be able to manage it though. The damage from Granger proving to be too much, along with the support of the Minotaur, going to be able to take out the marksman for the side of Team Pyro. Skirmish up here. Leomord not going to be able to stop Terizla from taking the tower, but will he be able to take Terizla himself? We all know this man is tanky. Terizla is hard to kill, and Show is here now. Penalty zone gonna be keeping them in, but Way of the Dragon kicks him out, manages to catch, but execution strike. Avatar the Guardian, Gatokacha is here. Falling down with Mighty Esmeralda. Both teams are here now. And the Joe in a lot of trouble, doesn't quite manage the flicker properly, actually gets followed by the Gushin there, but looks like Team Pyro will not be following up on that. I'm seeing that both teams are basically having most of their players skirmish off, while the marksmen are continuing the farm here. Show going in, doesn't quite land the stun, and he doesn't have the Shunpo. He's gonna get dragged back. The execution strike, the damage, falling Star Moon onto 4 people, but the time journey means nothing. Esmeralda jumping into a bad situation. They're going to be giving another kill to Team Pyro, and they are definitely going to capitalize on this by going for the Lord. Team PSIKO.PRIME, Leomord up there in the bush, seeing if he can try to go in, and it looks like he will. Jumps onto the horse. The teams are in battle. Blazing Duet comes out, doesn't quite do enough damage. He's gonna go down. Claude is taken out. Minotaur, Min1 Fury onto the last 2 people. Actually, not quite the last 2 people, but Gatot will be going down. Lands a lot of damage. And looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME coming out of that engagement notably ahead. Going to be taking the Lord now, but their health is very, very low. Cho is trying his best. Way of the Dragon kicks Terizla in. Lots of damage onto him. He's tanking. Oh, the penalty zone on 4 people, and the Lord doing lots of damage. This is a complete turnaround. But Team PSIKO.PRIME saying, just because you landed a big ult doesn't mean we're going down just yet. The damage from the Granger, as well as the CC from the Cho, going to be able to skew the fight in their favor, but their health is a bit too low, so they're not going to be going for the Lord anymore. So far, we are seeing exactly why both of these teams have managed to maintain their win streaks in this competition for this long. Despite being 10 minutes into the game and seeing lots of action, both teams are actually still very even. Only a 3k net worth difference skewed to the side of Team PSIKO.PRIME. So for now, this game can still go either way. Reverse time, gonna be Shunpoing out with the CC immunity. What will these teams do to try and obtain a superiority against the other? There's 4 members of Team Pyro down here, and I don't think Team PSIKO.PRIME wants to engage on this, but if Cho can manage to pick someone out with the Way of the Dragon, it might work out. Will be chased away though with the auto alarm bomb. But Minotaur jumping in, he wants to take this fight. Lots of damage coming from the Granger. Falling Star Moon not gonna be landing on anyone, but it looks like he's just using it to scale the wall. They're gonna be catching Terizla. Penalty zone goes on to 2 people. Time journey going in. Avatar of the Guardian, actually very well played by Team PSIKO, managing to get a lot of people out. Esmeralda's gonna go down though. Minotaur and Granger going onto the claw will be able to take him out. There's some very low health people here. Leomord doing his thing again. I don't think he's gonna be getting out of this one. They finally take the Leomord out, but what will it cost? As Thanos said, everything, because Team Pyro is gonna come out with 4 casualties. Team PSIKO.PRIME looks like they're making their superiority known this game. They're playing very well. Net worth difference is still fairly even, but we're seeing it grow a little bit by bit for Team PSIKO.PRIME. With quite a few of their members down, it looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME is going to be able to take the Lord pretty much uncontested. Immortality onto the Cho now, gonna make him that much harder to kill and give him a lot more opportunity to initiate fights like he's been doing all game. Team Pyro What will they do? They're definitely not out of this game by any count. But if they continue to make mistakes, they're going to find it quite difficult to come back into this game. Lord is going to be pushing down bottom lane. And Team Pyro is going to have to expend some manpower to stop it. Rotation here, Liamwood sees it. He knows that there's a lot of people here. A huge pile of Team Red on that side. Cho doing some fancy moves, trying to get in there, but it's a bit difficult to jump into 5 members of the enemy team. But while this is happening, Lord gonna be taking the bottom turret. Looks like the group up was a distraction here, but they're gonna be wrapping around. They wanna go on these people. They are separated. Falling Star Moon lands, but the time journey renders it a useless. The penalty zone. Avatar the Guardian gonna be landing on these people, doing lots of damage. Esmeralda getting out just barely. Shows that he still have his immortality. Lands lots of stuns, doing lots of damage. This is going to be a huge fight for the side of PSIKO.PRIME. Team wiping Team Pyro. And this is not a situation that Team Pyro want themselves to be in. Looks like game 1 is going to go to Team PSIKO.PRIME from UiTM. A very well played match from both sides, but it looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME managing to show their superiority, coming out on top. Very well played. I think one of the main factors that came into that victory was the draft. They had a lot of options. The Diggy was a good pick on the side of Team Pyro to counter the CC coming out from the Cho, Esmeralda, and Minotaur. But it just proved to not be enough. Because like, it's too difficult to try and engage on a team that has this much CC. Either way though, well played to both teams. Team Pyro will need to win the next match if they want to keep their position in this series and continue to fight for that chance to play in the grand finals. Game 1 has now concluded. We will be taking a short 5-minute break before the next match happens to see whether Team PSIKO.PRIME will be taking the series 2-0 or if Team Pyro can equalize it to go into a game 3. Make sure to stay tuned, make sure to continue watching the stream, cause we will be right back in a few moments.
Future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever.
Welcome back to the stream. So, we've just come from a very intense Game 1 of the Best of 3 series semi-finals between Team PSIKO.PRIME and Team PYRO, with Team PSIKO.PRIME managing to take the victory and claim the first win of the series. In the next game, we are going to be seeing whether or not Team PSIKO.PRIME can follow up on their performance in Game 1 and manage to clinch a 2-0 victory, or whether Team PYRO will be coming back from the ashes and evening it up for a Game 3. I'm expecting this game to be just as intense as the first one. We are going to be seeing some very strong plays from both teams. I think the main problem that Team PYRO had in the last game was that they picked their damage a little bit too early and allowed Team PSIKO.PRIME to clinch the Minotaur and the Esmeralda on top of the show, which just made the rest of the game too difficult, even with the CC immunity granted by Diggy.
Your team is
So now
banning.
we have entered the draft phase for Game 2 of the semi-finals. And we're starting off with a Kaja ban. The teams have flipped sides now. Team PYRO will be
Your
on the
team
blue
is
side,
banning.
whereas Team PSIKO.PRIME will be on the red. Kaja and Harif going to be the first bans, very typical first bans here. Kaja with the Divine Judgment, being able to catch people out of position and dragging them to places they don't want to go, and Harif for being that little dashy annoying
Your
thing
team is
that you
banning.
really don't want to have to fight against. Claude going to be banned out very quickly by Team PYRO here. Looks like they decided that they don't want Team PSIKO.PRIME to be able to get it.
Your
And the
team
Lunong's
is
going to be
picking.
banned out as well. Very similar first bans, with the only difference being that Grok was not banned
Your
out,
team is
and
picking.
Team PYRO going to be able to claim it for themselves. Looks like, I assume the reasoning that they banned out Grok in the last game was because they didn't have the first pick, and they really either wanted him on their team or didn't want to deal with him at all. Whereas Team PSIKO.PRIME gonna be picking up the Cho and the Esmeralda once again. Will Team Pyro have what it takes to deal with this formation, which was the cause of their defeat in the last game? What will be the next picks for Team Pyro? Gonna be grabbing the Minotaur and the Leomord. Not going to let PSIKO.PRIME take it this time. The Leomord last game, very difficult to kill, causing chaos throughout the fight.
Carry.
Looks like they're gonna grab it for themselves, whereas Team PSIKO.PRIME gonna be grabbing the carry. We're going to be heading into the next bans now. I think most likely Team PSIKO.PRIME is going to be trying to ban out a marksman yet again. Diggy gonna be banned out from the side of Team Pyro. They want that Minotaur's Minuan Fury to go off. They don't want it to be cancelled by Time Journey. So I think this is a pretty good ban from the side of Team Pyro, as I am expecting a marksman ban here from the side of PSIKO.PRIME. Something actually going for the Gushin. Looks like they decided they don't want to give the Gushin to Team Pyro and are willing to give them more of a free reign for picking their marksmen. Though Claude and Carry are already unavailable, there are still options in the form of, say, Granger or Kimmy. Kimmy actually wasn't picked out the last game, so I wonder if we might see it this time. Though it is also possible that both these teams simply don't have a Kimmy player. Fourth pick for the side of Team PSIKO.PRIME going to be
Lolita.
Okay, that was a bit confusing. It looked like it was gonna be a Guinevere up until the last moment, and it is going to be a Lolita. Very strong tank. I think I'm getting a grasp of the way that Team PSIKO.PRIME likes to play. It looks like they like to have a lot of tanky CC to be able to take the front for their backline. Is this an Alice that I'm seeing here?
Alice.
It is. Looks like Team Pyro going for the Alice pick. Definitely very, very uncommon. But if matched up properly with Wild Charge or Minuan Fury, could definitely be devastating. I do wonder if it is the right choice against picks such as Esmeralda and Lolita though. Last pick from the side of Team PSIKO.PRIME. I'm predicting something along the lines of a Terizla, perhaps? No. Will it be the Guinevere this time? Guinevere would definitely round up the team count quite nicely, but another tank. It looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME likes to play the Esmeralda as a damage dealer rather than a tank. I'm noticing now the Retribution spell as well as the pickup of the Calamity Reaper in the last game. Both teams looking very strong. PSIKO.PRIME sticking quite closely to what brought them the victory last time, while we're seeing a very notably different pick lineup from Team Pyro. Will it be able to bring them the victory? We can only watch and see. I'm expecting this to be a very entertaining game too. Will Team Pyro manage to claw their way up to even the odds to make sure that they stay in this series for the chance of heading to the grand finals, or will Team PSIKO.PRIME show the same performance they did last game and come out victorious once again? The game has commenced. For those of you who are just joining us on the stream now, you're currently watching the X-Pax Kajohanan Isukan Campus Taylor's MLBB Showdown semi-finals match between Team PSIKO.PRIME and Team Pyro. Some small skirmishes happening here and there already, cutting the waves happening on both sides to try and limit the farm that their enemy laner is going to be able to get. Alice playing very aggressive there on the opponent's side of the team actually. 4 members of Team PSIKO.PRIME showing up. They want this buff. Will Team Pyro be forced to give it to them? Alice going to be jumping straight in to try and take that buff. Will be able to walk out though. Liamore is here now. Does he want to be here though? First blood goes to the side of Team
Initiate
PSIKO.PRIME.
retreat.
Not a very smart choice by the Liamore there, deciding to just walk into the center of 4 members of the enemy team. It's still anyone's game, but PSIKO.PRIME managing to take a decisive first victory with that first blood. I'm noticing that Team PSIKO.PRIME plays very efficiently. They like to move around the map, and the fact that they picked a lot of characters with strong CC and which can take a lot of damage as well kind of enables them to do this, because it means that even if they are contested and they lose the objective that they're trying to get, it won't end up in a
Turtle
kill
resurrecting
for the
soon.
enemy team. Minotaur getting caught by 3 members of PSIKO.PRIME here. Cho has showed up as well to join him. The flicker did not manage to land that flicker properly, actually flickering into the wall. The stun will finish him off, but Grok and Alice here now. The ult comes out. Not going to be doing enough damage. Team PSIKO.PRIME is going to disengage. Team Pyro continuing to make small mistakes here and there. It's not really the kind of play that I'm expecting, but it's still very early in the game. The net worth difference is still about 1k, so anything can still happen. We certainly can't count them out just yet, and I'm expecting that they're going to be putting up a very big fight to try and go for that championship title. This is of course a semi-final match. The Grok is gonna go in. The power of nature is not enough though. Turtle will go to Team PSIKO.PRIME, but lots of damage landing. The Numenon blast landing on lots of people. Alice is gonna go down as well. Esmeralda being chased down, and the Rhapsody will finish her off. A 1-for-2 trade. Looks like Team Pyro will be able to keep themselves in the game slightly. Will unfortunately lose the turtle though, so that means more farm for the side of PSIKO.PRIME. Mentor jumps in, lands on the show, but a flicker will get him out of there. Both teams will be continuing the farm. The Kai is gonna be showing up here. Looks like lands the blender, but Aang will just walk away. It's going to be a bit difficult to engage on this. But one does wonder with these rotations, is Team PSIKO.PRIME intending to continue to oppress the side of Team Pyro and making sure that their marksmen cannot get farmed? But Team Pyro, they want to respond to it. They don't want to allow this kind of behavior. The wall is going to be able to land, but Akai is just going to walk out. He's too tanky. They won't be able to take him out. All the meanwhile, the carry for the side of PSIKO.PRIME is going to just be farming the top lane completely uncontested. Liamore is gonna be showing up now. Phantom Steed gonna be trying to stop this carry from pushing into their turret. In the meantime though, Team Pyro, 4-man at bot lane, going to finally be able to take that show out, and this might result in the first tower of the game. Some skirmish happening here. The Falling Star Moon to escape, but the Minuet Fury lands on both of them, doing lots of damage into the wild charge. Akai is no more. Death Sonata not really going to be landing its targets. Some quick weaving and dancing around from the Esmeralda will make sure she's not taken out. The Cho, he sees this movement, he knows something is up, but I don't think he wants to go in on this. Yep, looks like Team Pyro will be able to get a turtle of their own. the network difference right now is actually so similar that it's staggering. Landing the charge onto the Grok. In the Minotaur jumping in. Will he use his ult? Doesn't quite have enough rage for it, I think. The goal difference very, very even actually. And there's the Calamity Reaper onto the Esmeralda, as well as the endless battle onto the carry. Looks like there's gonna be a fight here. Lolita jumped in on the Minotaur. Not gonna be able to do anything though. But the Hurricane Dance keeping Grok stuck. Falling Star with 2 into the Numenon Blast. Poor Grok didn't know what hit him, but the Minnow and Fury lands on a lot of people, but the team is just not in the they really just can't take this fight right now, and Liam Moore knows that. He's gonna walk out, he's gonna charge out on that horse of his. I feel like this is a notable issue here. The fact is that Team Pyro is letting Team PSIKO.PRIME take so many of the, and the stun coming in from the allies into the Blood O, doing lots of damage, catching out 3 members, and the wall. Oh no, Esmeralda. There was no chance of her getting out there. She had already used the Falling Star Moon to clear the wave, and the wall, the Guardian's barrier was perfect. Phantom Steed, he wants to engage on the carry, but is this a good idea? There's a lot of damage coming out from the marksmen of Team PSIKO.PRIME. 2 tanks coming up, and they will disengage. Looks like Team Pyro is going to be taking some small victories here. The net worth is slightly skewing to their side. They will be able to take the mid tier 1 turret as well as the buff from Team PSIKO.PRIME. And they're gonna rotate to try and take some more objectives. Akai, Lolita, and Sho are here though. That turtle is looking very low. Will go to the side of Team Pyro. The charge lands on the Grok, but that's not really a target you're gonna be able to take out easily. Blood Awe goes in, lands, stun onto the Lolita. She's gonna charge and then flicker out to make sure she's not caught. The bulwark comes out as well, but she's just surrounded on all sides. The tankiness of Lolita not being enough. The Minnow and Fury lands on the Akai. He does not want to be there. That panda is gone. In the meantime, at the bottom lane, Liam or Cho doing a lot of damage to each other. Cho trying to regen a little bit. Momentum just barely chunks out the Cho, but look who is here. The Grok. The Grok lands it. Cho, you were a little bit out of position. They're trying to take the tower, I believe, while the team was distracting Team Pyro on the mid side, but looks like he will be caught out. Top lane, Granger going on to the carry, doing lots of damage. Does he have the Death Sonata? The Minotaur jumping in, doing lots of damage. Will be able to finish the carry, but now Granger is not in a good spot. Hurricane Dance is gonna keep him pinned to the wall. Alice going in, coming in with the Blood O, doing lots of damage. The life steal is a lot, but so is the shield from Esmeralda. Both teams, who is gonna come out on top of this one? The stun lands on the Grok. Wall charge is going to be able to let him disengage out of there. And to finish it out, Guardian's barrier blocking out the enemy team. Do they still want to take this fight? Probably not. In the meantime though, Liam Ward, he might not be in the best situation. Falling Star Moon lands on him, getting lots of damage done by the Esmeralda. He charges out, but he finds a Lolita instead. No, this is just sad. Numenon Blast, counting out the last seconds of Liam Ward's life. He saw the skill effect. He knew that this was the end, and there was nothing he could do about it. Network difference skewing, jumping in onto the Esmeralda, but is this really the target you want to go on? She's not as tanky as typical Esmeraldas because she's going for the damage build, but the shielding is still a lot. But the rest of the team is here. Team PSIKO.PRIME, 5-man strong, going to be able to take out the Minotaur, was it? Yes, the Minotaur. And Grok is going to just get out of there with just the skin of his teeth. They're going to be using this situation to try and take Lord here. Liam Ward, he sees it, he wants to dash and gets pushed out. The Blood Orb into the way of the dragon. The Numenon Blast is going to land on the Grok because and the Hurricane Dance up here. Lots of action happening all around the map. Wall charge lands very nicely, takes out the Cho. The Lord will go to the Esmeralda though. Grok in trouble. Esmeralda, you don't want to go for this though, because Granger does a lot more damage than you may think. Leomord, he did not want to come in from that angle, but look who's here, the Cavalry. Carry will go down, but looks like you'll manage to take the Grok with her as well. Lots of action coming in on this game, and it's definitely turning out to be a little more even compared to the last game, where it was pretty evident that Team PSIKO.PRIME had a slight advantage throughout the entire game. Here though, Team Pyro definitely has the lead here with about 3k advantage. The Hurricane Dance though is not really gonna find the target. He wants to try and pin someone to the wall, but Alice is just walking away. They're fighting around the Lord right now. The Lord doesn't even know where to go. He wants to hit something. Minotaur stuck away from his team, flickers out. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get caught here. Manuel Fury on the 3 people into the Alice, all doing lots of damage. 3 kills for the side of Team Pyro, Team PSIKO.PRIME. That was not wise. Your marksman as well as the initiating ability of Cho was not there to assist in that fight. And now they're phasing out the carry. They want this buff for themselves. Team Pyro slowly increasing that network lead. And now they have 3 members pushing down mid lane to give some space for Granger to take the top. Looks like he will be able to grab it. And with that, it looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME has no more tier 1 or tier 2 turrets having and are now being forced to remain in close proximity to their base. Team Pyro coming back from the loss in game 1, they've learned from it, despite the fact that they've given Team PSIKO.PRIME the picks that they seem to have wanted. This seems to be a style that PSIKO.PRIME likes to go for, with 2 tanks plus the Esmeralda and the Cho. But Team Pyro showing us that you certainly can't count them out. They want to win. They want to get their opportunity to battle it out in the finals, and they are showing it in their performance this game. 5k net worth advantage to the side of Team Pyro. It's still not a very huge lead, but it's definitely a picture of what we can expect next. Necklace of Durance onto the Esmeralda. They're gonna be cutting the healing from Alice. This might actually be quite dangerous for them if they don't take the following fights correctly. Obviously, the necklace going to be cutting the self-healing that Alice will be able to do with her ultimate. Team PSIKO.PRIME now relegated to playing tower defense basically, as Team Pyro is pressuring them to remain in their base. I think it's likely that both these teams want to wait for the next Lord, especially Team Pyro. They want to be able to grab that Lord, which is coming up in the next 30 seconds, and use it to break this stalemate and try to push into the base to end the game. Guardian's barrier coming out there, not quite trapping the Lolita on the right side. Akai jumping in, but I don't think he's gonna be using the Hurricane Dance. He's just gonna be walking out, actually using Sprint there. I don't know if that was the wisest choice.
Soon.
Lots of pressure being exerted on Team PSIKO.PRIME by Team Pyro right now. And the Lord, as I mentioned, it's up. Will these teams be trying to contest it? Akai sees the rest of the team is coming down. They don't want to let Team Pyro grab this charge onto the Grok, stuns him. Guardian's barrier, wild charge doesn't quite land on the correct people, but they catch the Esmeralda, which is huge. The Numenon Blast not gonna be enough, but actually the Flicker lands on all 4 of Team Pyro, but it won't be enough. Cho actually taking out the Granger out of nowhere at the mid lane there. Meanwhile, this fight continues on. Granger's gonna go down to the Cho, but the rest of his team is going to be able to find 2 kills on the Esmeralda and the Akai here, and they want to take this Lord, but lots of damage from the carry. Actually gonna be sniping the Grok out. Learmore going in, but I don't think that's wise. Carry has damage. Alice is jumping in now. And the Minotaur going to have his immortality used up there. Oh no, that was not what they wanted to happen. Cho gonna catch Minotaur out there. And the stun, keeping Alice in place. The Lord looks like he's on the side of PSIKO.PRIME here, setting up a very nice catch for them. They will be able to take the Lord. The net worth advantage is still on the side of Team Pyro, but Team PSIKO.PRIME, they're not going down without a fight. They want to try and make this series a clean sweep. They want to try and win 2-0 for a free ticket into the finals. What will both these teams do? Cho is gonna find the Grog here. Most likely won't be able to do enough damage to each other to take him out. A big fight down there potentially. No, Cho is going to be disengaging. The map is actually looking to be very different from what it was just a few moments ago. Now, Team PSIKO.PRIME is knocking onto the door of Team Pyro's base, and they're saying, you visited us a moment ago, now we're gonna pay a visit to you. Gonna take the mid lane tier 2 turret blade armor onto the Akai, making it
Initiate retreat.
that much more difficult to deal with. Lord pushing down top as well. Most likely gonna take that tier 2, whereas Cho is taking the bottom tier 2. The tables have turned because now Team PSIKO.PRIME have taken all of Team Pyro's tier 2 turrets in one fell sweep. They're knocking on the door of this base now. And looks like the first tier 3 turret of the game will go to Team PSIKO.PRIME. They're gonna be able to catch the Akai there, but he's just walking out. Falling Star Moon lands on a few. Joe, not where he wanted to be. The Esmeralda jumping in to die as well. They're going to be taking 2 tier 3 turrets, but it might cost them because they're going to lose 3 members of their team.
Initiate retreat.
The net worth advantage that Team Pyro had amassed just a moment ago has pretty much been evened out. We can see here 50k net worth on both teams. Team PSIKO.PRIME has come back in a big way. That Lord fight was all they needed to turn things around. Team Pyro trying to push as much as they can right now, but
Request backup.
the rest of Team PSIKO.PRIME gonna be coming up very, very soon. Will they be able to push in and take some tier 3 turrets like what Team PSIKO.PRIME did to them? It's probably not worth the risk because right now, basically, we are in a situation where if either team loses a big fight in the next few moments, it's going to be pretty much GG. So in terms of that, I think Team PSIKO.PRIME has a little more freedom since they still have all 3 of their tier 3 turrets. Team Pyro, they need to make things happen if they want to stay in this game. They took a very good fight earlier, managed to defend their base, did not let Team PSIKO.PRIME end the game by taking out 3 of their heroes. But now, they are 2 turrets down. Will they be able to mount the same defense? In fact, they need to do it better because otherwise they will not be able to push back into the base of Team PSIKO.PRIME. This is coming to be a very tense situation. Both teams waiting for a good chance to initiate, to try and win a fight that will skew the game in their favor. Team PSIKO.PRIME definitely looking to be in the advantage right now. If they manage to win the next fight, they can pretty much end the game right there. Whereas, if Team Pyro wins this next fight, it's still going to take them some time to end the game, considering that all 3 of the enemy team's tier 3 turrets are still alive. We have a bit of a distraction play here. It looks like while PSIKO.PRIME holding the members of Team Pyro in base. Esmeralda doing a bit of sneaky business over there, if you notice on the minimap. Teams are pushing out, and I get the feeling that Team Pyro is aware of something happening. Actually manages to steal the Lord. Oh my god, how did they manage that? Who knows? But the Minuan Fury lands on 3 members of the enemy team. I think Team Pyro is probably going to be abandoning this Minotaur. Managing to steal the Lord from the enemy team will be quite huge for them. It might allow them to stay in this game just a bit longer, but now they are without their huge team fight ultimate in the form of the Minuan Fury for a very long time. The Lord is not going to replace that Minotaur, and it's gonna go down very, very quickly. Wall coming out, the Guardian's Barrier gonna be blocking them from entering for a little while, but what use is it? The Minotaur is still down for 25 seconds, and the enemy team's coming in. PSIKO.PRIME, they want to take this fight. The Joe is diving in actually very far, kicking away the Leomord to make sure he's not caught. Lots of damage going out. Falling Star Moon lands onto the Granger. Kai gonna be taken down, but he has immortality, so he is coming back. There is actually a lot of immortality on the side of PSIKO.PRIME. Basically, almost their entire team has a second life. The Joe stunning the Leomord, not letting him catch up to the rest of his team, but it might not be enough. The Way of the Dragon kicks the Leomord away. The Guardian's Barrier actually blocking the Leomord from continuing the pursuit, though that might be the wiser choice, because they certainly cannot afford to lose any more of their team or risk losing this game and their chance to play at the finals for that champion title. We have here a much more tense game than I expected, folks. 22 minutes in, both teams quite even, only a 3k net worth advantage difference for the side of Team Pyro. It's hard to say exactly how this game will pan out. There is definitely still every opportunity for either of these teams to win the game. For now, Team PSIKO.PRIME still holds the advantage because all of the lanes are pushing towards the side of Team Pyro, allowing them to put a lot of pressure onto the enemy team. Again, I stress this, the fact is that if Team PSIKO.PRIME manage to win the next fight, they will be able to end this game with no issues, and it looks like they're gonna be trying to take this tier 3 turret carry, doing lots of damage. The Wild Charge lands on them. A Falling Star Moon, Lolita's gonna go down, but the immortality is gonna bring her back up. Will she go down? She's gonna get a lot of shield. Luminon Blast landing on 2 members of the enemy team, but they are very tanky. It's not gonna be enough. There's a lot of fighting. Minuan Fury lands. Akai is gonna go down, but lots of damage from the Esmeralda. Lolita's gonna finally go down as well. No more immortality for you. Way of the Dragon kicks the Minotaur into the carry. Lots of damage. Will be able to take him out. 3 members remain on both sides. The Phantom Steed is back up. He's going in. He wants to do the damage. Destinata doing lots of damage. Going to be able to take out the Esmeralda, but it will cost the Leomord in return. A 2v2. Granger, lots of damage. The Joe is going in, but he has no minions to back him up. Flickering out. He knows that if he gets caught here, it's not going to be good news for his team. That final tier 3 turret for the side of Team Pyro, continuing to survive somehow. But I don't expect that to last much longer. So, exerting so much pressure, he's just basically pushing the top lane the entire game. Croc is back now. He's gonna be pushing him back. And Carry, continuing the farm. We have yet to see a really decisive fight that would determine the victory for either of these teams. Team Pyro doing a very good job of defending so far, and the immortality going onto the Leomord here. Gonna allow them to keep these fights going for a very, very long time. In fact, from what I can see, it looks like Team Pyro, pretty much every member of their team has immortality up. So, they have a lot of chance of taking a good fight because they essentially have a second life for the entire team. Esmeralda gonna be starting the Lord here. Cho pushing bot lane. They're splitting up their forces quite a lot. Team Pyro, what can they do to try and contest this? The Lolita doing a very good job charging in, stunning the Dragon. Jikundo lands on the Leomore down here, but probably won't be engaging. The Grok goes in, he sees it, he knows. He wants to try and see if he can steal the Lord again like last time, but he's charging off the power of nature a bit too soon. And he's gonna be punished for it. Carry's gonna go straight onto him. The Lord will actually go to Team Pyro, but the fight is in full force. Carry is chasing that Grok down. Will actually be able to take him out. Minotaur, he's stuck now, has to flicker out of the Numenon blast, but the Carry is following him a very long way, and she doesn't want him to get away. Minotaur is gonna go down. Leomord, immortality will be expended here. Alice trying to make sure that the game continues. Winter Trunkion will keep her alive long enough. Lord is gonna come up, but the rest of Team Pyro is gonna go down. Only 2 members of Team Pyro here now. They have to defend against the entire team of PSIKO.PRIME. They do have the Lord, but it's not really good enough. The Hurricane Dance gonna be keeping the Leomord away. They want to try and keep this Lord alive for as long as possible to allow it to tank for them, but it's not gonna be enough. The Cho is gonna be doing damage. Team PSIKO.PRIME is going to take it. A clear victory, 2-0 to Team PSIKO.PRIME from Politeknik Shah Alam. They will be clinching the first game of the semi-finals with a straight 2-0 win record. Very well played from both teams. Team Pyro put up a great fight. It was pretty evident that they knew they needed to defend, and they were playing very well, taking team fights very well, defending the base for a very long time, as evidenced by the fact that this game lasted an entire 26 minutes. In the end though, it looks like Team PSIKO.PRIME, they managed this, and they're going to be going into the finals. Also, I think I mentioned their school name a bit wrong earlier. This Team PSIKO.PRIME from UiTM Shah Alam will be heading on to the finals, and I expect that to be just as exciting as what we have seen here today. I think in the end, those matches just kind of came down to drafting. I think Team Pyro kind of allowed Team PSIKO.PRIME to pick up the draft that they wanted a bit too much. It's possible that Team PSIKO.PRIME was actually, they were drafting very well. They knew exactly what they wanted, and they went for it. They banned out heroes that would be able to deal with it, and they basically didn't allow Team Pyro to counter their draft at all, managing to grab some very obvious key heroes such as the Esmeralda, managing to get the Cho as well. What can I say? Either way, that was a very well played game from both sides. Team PSIKO.PRIME taking the victory, just barely edging out Team Pyro from being able to even that out for a third game, but this series will end with a victory for Team PSIKO.PRIME, who I expect we will be seeing in the finals match very soon. So far, lots of action. So